Welcome to the show, everyone. My name is Paul Calamere. This is your city, your voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. In the studios of 4680Q. I'm just going to open that door and get some air in here because you know what happens when I get in here? I start coughing. Yeah, it happens every time. You know that. So we're at finally Friday. It's been a long week. Lots going on, and next week is going to be a wild week. Totally wild. Everything's going on next week. I didn't know there was a city council meeting next week. Woo! So we got to deal with that. And we have the capital budget we have to deal with. And I've done the first 100 pages on Tuesday. I'm going to do the second 100 pages, well, 120, 130 pages anyway. I was going to do it Monday, but unfortunately, with city council agenda review, I got to get Dave Wheeler in the studio here. And we have to do the city council agenda review on Monday, so we won't get around to the capital budget on Monday, but Tuesday we will for sure. So lots going on next week as we finish off this on finally Friday. 38 degrees when I was up at 4 o'clock this morning. Barometer taking a leap to 29.36, which should be clearing. High pressure usually brings nice weather, so we see it dry out there for now anyway. And it's going to get into the 50s, it's said, but it's only 46 out there now. That's why I got my hat on. Under 50, I wear my hat. But there's a lot of moisture out there, and it brings rain. So we may see a little bit of rain today, but it's supposed to rain tomorrow, 84%, Sunday, 80%. And it's too bad about tomorrow because it's the Santa Claus parade tomorrow in Niagara Falls. Hopefully it rains maybe in the morning and that, and it lets up in the afternoon. It starts at 4 o'clock. The parade marches down Victoria Avenue and down Queen Street and ends up at City Hall where Mr. and Mrs. Claus will be doing meet and greets. So that's all good, but the problem is if it's raining, it's going to be pretty miserable out there for everybody. So do the sign of the cross and hope that we get some nice weather for everybody. We don't want rain. One day of the year, that's the day we don't want it. We want to have a good day for everybody to enjoy it. Okay, I'm going to get to my sponsors, then we're going to get into the show. We got comments coming right after. We got a lot of comments here to talk about. Anyway, my sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamill Machine Company. Now, you know, we have this weather, and it's looking pretty good. We're going to be going into the 50s in the weekend. Here we go. Every time I start up, I cough. But at the end of the day, we know what's coming. We know winter's coming. We know the snow's coming and that. So now is a great time for you to get your car in. Let Wild Bill, Ken Hunter, let him take a look at your car at Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Give it the once over. Make sure your brakes are good. Make sure your oil's good. Make sure your your coolant's good. Make sure your defrosters work. Make sure everything's ready for winter so you don't have a breakdown and you're not standing out there in the rottenest weather of the year waiting for CAA to come and rescue you. Sit there going, Mavangulo, okay, that Mavangulo. You don't want to be saying that. You want to just make sure you get your car in, be proactive, get it checked out. Ken's got a full body shop at Wild Bill's. He can take your car in if you get in a little wreck, and he can give it back to you in A1 condition. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Go to wildbillsauto.ca to see their services and book your appointment today. Don't procrastinate. Listen to me. Listen to me. Look at me. Book your appointment. And while you're on the internet, tooling around with whatever sites that you go to, I'm not going to ask, but check out YouTube. Go to my YouTube page, Paul Lemire, or Your City, Your Voice, and sign the heck up. Subscribe. It costs you nothing. Subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Give some comments. You get notifications whenever I drop a video. Why wouldn't you do it for free? Seriously, it's free. Get out there. Sign up. Come on. It helps the algorithm, helps us get the show out to more people. We got some big stuff coming up. We got the capital budget in a couple weeks. We've got the operations budget, and we have an election next year. We want to get people involved. You should know what's going on. It's your city, your voice, your money, your choice. Can I tell you? Come on, smarten up. Let's go. Okay, we'll get to my sponsors, my other sponsors, a little bit later in the show. Have a comment during the show. You want to comment? You want to say something? I got this little doodad here that Mr. Wilkins handed down to me. And guess what? You can just send me a text message. How easy is that? Text message 289-994-7560. That's right. Text me a message if you have something to say about the show. I'll get it on the show. I'll talk about it right here. 289-994-7560. Okay, on with the show. Viewer comments. Monday show. Mahal.77. Taco Tuesday. Okay. I don't know who Mahal.77 is, but thanks for leaving a comment. Taco Tuesday. That's the only Taco Tuesday I know of is at Grand Central here on Tuesdays. $5 tacos. Yeah, $4 pints or something like that. Now, I'm not doing an advertisement for them, but I'm just telling you the truth. 75-cent wings, last I heard of. Okay, Mahal.77. Dave Wheeler, 1158. What does 9/11 have to do with Mandani? Okay, so I was talking about Mandani winning that election. He's a communist, terrorist, Muslim. And I said, how soon the people of New York City forget 9/11? And what does that have to do with Ma'am Dandy? Ma'am Dandy's a terrorist Muslim. He's a communist one. And guess what? Although I question what actually happened on 9/11, because I'm a conspiracy guy, I will guarantee you that a lot of people think it was Muslim terrorists. They went after Osama bin Laden. Muhammad Atta and his crew are the ones who flew the planes into the buildings, allegedly. I don't know if that's what they came up with, but I don't believe it myself. So, but either way, this guy is one of them. And after Muslim terrorists took down the Twin Towers in Building 7, flew into the Pentagon and crashed the plane in Pennsylvania, you would think that the people of New York would know better than to elect a Muslim. Especially one that's avowed, especially one that's hung around with the blind cleric who blew up the World Trade Center, put a bomb in the basement in 1993. That's what it has to do with it. You might not like it, but that's what it has to do with it. I'm just explaining myself. You take it the way you want. Look it up. At Elliott4MP, another excellent takedown of the tax and spend crowd. It's always the same story. Politicians demanding ridiculous budget increases and claiming there are no efficiencies to be found. Great point, Elliott. Time for every council to respect the taxpayer and stop acting like our earnings are their personal slush fund. We need real fiscal discipline and massive reduction in the size of government, not another endless cycle of hikes. Great job on the broadcast, Paul. And yeah, I agree. And I keep saying this time after time. And that's why I want people to sign up and subscribe and share the video. Let's get people involved so that we can take these counselors to task. And if need be, get rid of them at election time and get people in there who do take it seriously and do their job. That's all we're asking for. We're not asking for anything except city council to do the job that we hired them to do, and that is protect our tax dollars. Spend them wisely. And I don't think $25,000 concrete ping pong tables and $17 million walking trails in a white elephant called the exchange is spending our money wisely. You can argue with me if you like. I get it. At the end of the day, though, it's your money that they're spending. If you're happy with it, good for you. For the ones who aren't, come on over to my side. Come on over and say hello. At 881 Slick. Stop wasting your talent on Peter's show, Wheels. Do your own show, my friend. Gary, yeah. Yeah, Wheels has got the talent, that's for sure. He could do his own show if he wants. Gary's being straight up honest and saying that. There you go. There you go. I always like having wheels there. We don't agree on a lot, to be honest with you. One time when we were on Facebook arguing back and forth, somebody asked if we were married. Did you guys get married or something? and But he's a good friend, and we like throwing stuff back and forth and arguing about stuff. But at the end of the day, hey, all of us, no matter what you say or anything, all of us want the same thing, right? Lower taxes, want our government to find efficiencies. We want the best life that we can have, lower prices on all kinds of things, and a decent paying job. Everybody wants the same thing: a clean city, a nice city with good roads. I mean, that's all you've got to do is to provide people with that, and they're happy. Doesn't take a lot to make people happy at election time. Okay, Tuesday show, Remembrance Day show at Chicken Nar. I love Chicken Nar. What a name that is. Thank you for he commented before Chicken Nar. Concerning the Edmund Fitzgerald, I think there was some speculation about a hatch getting stuck open and the storm was soon to fill the hold. And if there had been lifeboats, there's no doubt that wouldn't have saved them in that tempest. And yeah, you're right. I did hear there was a hatch that wasn't battened down, right? They thought maybe the clips came off it and that kind of thing. And we talked about the Edmund Fitzgerald because it was I think the 50th anniversary on November 10th, which would have been on Monday. And we talked about it, paid tribute to the memory of the 29 sailors who died that day on the Edmund Fitzgerald when it sunk in Lake Superior in basically a perfect storm that took it to the bottom of Lake Superior. So, yep, okay, Chicken Nar. I think you're right. I think it was the hatchway gave way. I think Gordon Lightfoot said that too. There you go. At 881 Slick. Thank you both for the touching show. Always brings me to tears. Now he's talking about our Remembrance Day show, and it is a touching show. I take our veterans seriously, and we read in Flanders Field, and Dave read another poem. We had a minute of silence in memory of our veterans and those who serve. And he said he loved if you wheels talk about Passchendaele. We lost so much during that war, in which we should have never been involved with. Much love and respect to you both, Dave. You, sir, are a wealth of information. So there you go. There you go, Davey boy. That was for you. And yeah, we do have a good show, and I enjoy doing the Remembrance Day show and paying tribute. Thursday show at Dave Wheeler, 1158. The exchange will definitely become a forever white elephant if they don't repurpose it. Sell it, repurpose it. It's the only option. And Davey boy, I agree 100% with you. What's Peterson? He's got a dog. He's walking his dog out there. I agree 100% with you. You know, I'm really surprised that Wheels agrees with me on this one. You know, he's an arts and culture type of guy. But even he realizes what a disaster that place has been. From cost overruns to the tune of $5 million to the farmer's market moving out to even a little cafe taking the high road out of that place. It's really a never-ending money pit for the taxpayers at this point. I cannot wait to see the plus minus of this for the 2025 fiscal year. I want to see how much money they made, lost, as opposed to what it costs to operate and what they come to city council for. I think the most of it was used is in the 2 council meetings they had there when they were revamping City Hall. Okay, that's it for comments. Thanks to everyone for the great comments. I really appreciate it, and I do read them on the show, and I know they're controversial, some of them, and we don't share the same view on some of it, but at the end of the day, like I said, we want to make sure that we're spending taxpayer money wisely, not going to crazy wants and not needs. Do we need this stuff? No. No, we don't, but we spent millions upon millions of dollars while we neglect our roads. We see homeless walking around with nowhere to live. Food banks are running out because they can't put enough on the shelves for people who are coming in there because of the economy. And we worry about walking trails. It just doesn't seem right to me. Okay, a public service announcement for everybody. Don't forget the Santa Claus parade. tomorrow, November 15th, starting at 4 p.m. Right down Victoria Avenue to Queen Street, and Queen Street's all lit up. I went down last night. I took a ride to see the lights, and I don't know. I know I'm a whiner and a complainer about stuff, but we are the home of the Festival of Lights. That's one of our claims to fame in the winter. If you go down to the parks, it's friggin' spectacular. And you come down Queen Street, and really, I didn't see too many businesses participating. I think Grand Central had some lights up, a couple other stores, and Queen Street itself, it's pretty lame. That's all I can say. It's pretty lame. Some lights on the trunks of the trees on the side of the road, and a zigzagging bunch of white lights going across Queen Street, and some lights on the arches. I mean, it just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But come on down. You can check them out for yourself and see what you think. I think we could have done a lot better job being from the city that boasts about the Festival of Lights, one of the best Festival of Lights show in Canada, maybe. And we can't do better. I've seen people's houses, private houses that are decorated better than Queen Street. I don't get it. I don't get it. What can I tell you? I'm telling you like it is. You come down, take a drive down Queen Street at night, and you judge, and you tell me what you think. Maybe I'm off base. Tell me I'm off base. Okay, so I talked about a city council meeting on Tuesday at 4. It starts, and so we're going to do the council review on Monday. And I took a look at the agenda for the meeting on Tuesday, and it looks like it's going to be a very short meeting with one planning matter to discuss. It looks like a consolidation of several properties and building upon an apartment complex that is already there, um, bringing it up to bringing it up to 12 stories, and expanding residency to 202 units from, I think it's 43 now. They want to add 150 some. So that's good. That's good. We need more apartments. It's right there. It's on a main artery, of course, Throatstone Road. I'm right behind Rudan Holdings there, just before Rudan Holdings, across from the Sobeys Plaza in that area. There's going to be a report about sidewalk clearing assistance program. So if you can't clear it for whatever reason, disability or seniors, there's going to be a program to help that out. Authorizations to put new windows in the armory, which is a good thing. They need it. And there's more items. We'll discuss them on Monday. And there should be more information added to the agenda today. It was pretty sparse. Usually they add PDFs and letters from residents and that. So I'll look at that over the weekend, and then I'll look at it Monday morning again after 9 o'clock to see if they've changed anything. And I'll be reporting that back at noon on Monday when we do our City Council Agenda Review Day show. Let's see. And then I got to get to the second 100. It's going to be like 130 pages of the budget on Tuesday, because we're doing the City Council review on Monday. So we got a busy week next week. And I have several good news items for a change. How about that? I always talk about bad news, Debbie Downer. But no, celebrate, celebrate. Common Sense shows up for one day at Queen's Park, as today marks the end of the One-Eyed Bandits. November 14th, they're done. The Blade Runner is out of a job. The insidious money grabbers they call speed cameras, I call them One-Eyed Bandits, that do nothing to make the streets safe, are going to be gone. They're going to be history after today. You do not have to worry anymore about them. They're gone. If you have an outstanding ticket before today, though, you have to pay it. You have to pay up. Cough up that $120 or whatever it is. Last time they're going to be able to pick your pocket. Unless you get stopped by the cops, of course. Anything issued after today, well, there may be regions that haven't shut them down yet. They haven't shut them down. So if you get a ticket after today, they're not void. They're null and void. So let me give you a warning here. Don't think the Karens of the wacky left will let this go. No, they're not going to give up on this so easily. And neither will city councils either. They keep using that safety thing as the reason to hammer you for more money, pick your pocket. And they're going to keep doing that because it's a lot of money in their pocket. That's why it's about grabbing cash. And a lot of municipalities, and supported by the Karens of the world, are calling for Big Mouth Billy Bass to reverse his decision on them, citing safety, like I said. Even though they did absolutely nothing for safety, new measures are coming to every city to deal with speed. And it seems the only place the Karens thought it was necessary was in front of schools. Really bizarre thinking. Maybe too many COVID shots. I don't know. Anyway, look for protests of people posting all kinds of crap about speeders in front of schools. Guaranteed, but for me, the bandits are a thing of the past. Another bad idea that has been canceled. You're canceled. You're done. You're done. You're done. Another cash grab relegated to the garbage can of bad ideas. Okay. And I know you won't agree with me if you don't message me or put a comment on the video and tell me I'm full of crap. That's fine. What do you think? Let me know what you think. Okay, a second good news item here. Walker Industries, a corporate leader in Niagara Falls and the region for hundreds of years, have decided to donate $2 million to the new hospital. How about that? And it's one of the largest corporate donations thus far. Walker Industries and the Walker family have been proponents in advancing healthcare across the region through a lot of different projects, including the Walker Family Cancer Center and the MRI Community Fundraising Campaign, Hospice Niagara's Walker's House and Stable Center, Hotel du Shaver, Pathstone Mental Health, Wellspring Niagara, and the Niagara Health Foundation. Big Move Cancer Ride. That's one of the big ones they sponsor every year. Foundation President Andrea Scott said the $2 million will go to supporting the creation of patient spaces, technologies, and healthcare environment that will transform healing and treatment across our region. Beautiful. I worked for Walker Industries for 13 years, from 1976 to 1989. I met three generations of the Walker family. They're all class acts. They're all good people, good corporate citizens, and I've met them from the owners to the Walker Senior, Johnny and Norris Walker, to their kids. I met them all, and they're all great people. They support everything Niagara Falls. They're just good corporate citizens. Hats off to them for this great donation. And, we never hear the end of Walker because they're always donating to good causes. They're always donating to good causes. They're great people to work for. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. Let's get to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And when you get a pizza, you want consistency. You want to know if you walk in the front door and order a pizza, it's going to be a good pizza. You don't want to have that disappointing inconsistency. That's what I call it. And 9 times out of 10 is because people who are making the pizza don't know what they're doing. But when you have a family recipe from the Mancinis, who have been making pizzas for 40 years, and you have their crust recipe, and you know how to put the cheese and the sauce on the crust in the right ratios, you're going to have a winner. And that's what Pete's Pizza brings to the table. They know how to make a pizza, and then they add fresh toppings. How can you go wrong? They have specials all the time, weekly specials all the time, so they don't break your bank. They don't empty your wallet. You can afford it. Two locations to serve you: Thorlestone at Kaler Road and Victoria Avenue, of course. They also have poutine, fries, steak and cheese poutine, panzerotti, steak sandwiches, chicken parm sandwiches. They got a whole menu for you. You can't go wrong. All you have to do to enjoy a great pizza is pick up that phone and dial 905 374 2222. Ah, it doesn't get any easier than that. They also use Skip and Dine and Dash and blah or whatever the heck they're called. They use all those services and they'll deliver themselves. Usually order a pizza, they can have it to you in about a half an hour, hot and fresh. Ask my buddy Tony Nero, he knows. That's all you got to do. Go to their website, pizzaVictoria.ca. See their menu there. You can order there. How easy is it? Get yourself a pizza. It's Friday night. Let your wife have the night off. Grab a nice pizza and tell them Paul from your city, your voice sent you. And we really appreciate you supporting our sponsors. They're so important to the show, so important to the city. They're good corporate citizens, and we love to support our small business if possible. Okay, Welland. They've done it again. They've done it again. I don't know how. They've hired two more doctors. Now, this is an ongoing problem for Niagara Falls. We can't hire doctors. I think Welland has hired 16 new doctors over the last 2 years. Why does anybody want to go to Welland? I don't know. I don't know why they would rather be in Welland than Niagara Falls. I don't get it. But Welland knows how to get these doctors to sign on the dotted line and stay there. I mean, their incentive program offers $100,000. Hey, that's a nice little chunk of change. If they hang a shingle in Welland and stay for 5 years, but we do that here in Niagara Falls. We offer 50,000. We have a shortage of doctors. The whole region has a shortage of doctors. But you know what? I don't think Welland has a shortage of doctors. As a matter of fact, if you need a doctor, you might want to head down the Lundy's Lane out to Welland or go down through the tunnel and go through East Main Street there. Find yourself a doctor if you need one. I mean, that's your best bet. The new ones are taking patients. And for some reason, our city can't figure out how to attract them. And we don't have enough here. I mean, we've got everything in Niagara Falls: wineries, five-star restaurants. We got so much in Niagara Falls that we can't get these doctors to come here and actually stay. You don't want to come here. Our mayor maybe should have a powwow with Campion, Frank Campion, the mayor of Welland, and say, Frank, how are you doing this? What's going on? Shoot a video with him. You like shooting videos about doctors. But Frank's not going to tell them. Frank's got the secret. They know what they're doing over there. But I think the best idea that I've heard come down the pipe in a long time is what John Ringo Beam said, and Simcoe is trying. And my idea is to take their idea and take the exchange and add one word to the sign: medical exchange, and use that as a medical center. Set up doctor's office, fully staffed and furnished, hire doctors to work for the city. They go in those offices, turnkey. Doctors do what they do best: doctor. They don't have to set up an office. They don't have to hire people. They don't have to keep books. Nothing. The city does it all for them. And in return, we pay them a salary and we get all the money from OHIP, from the medical. We get all that money. And then we dole it out to them. We give them a fair salary for a doctor that's in their same category, working in the city as a GP would make. But they don't have to run an office. They don't have to do anything. Why not give it a shot? If we can't hire doctors, why not give it a shot? To me, it makes sense. It really does. All they have to do is come into the city, sign a contract for 5 years, and commence to doctoring. That's it. Very simple. I don't see how any new doctor could turn that down for 5 years. After 5 years, they can go hang their own shingle out, but they might be so happy not having to run an office and run a business that at the end of the day, they might just stay on. I mean, I don't see why, when we're so far behind in doctors, and having so many people that are doctors, city council would be reluctant to try this. Okay, you don't want to use the exchange, you don't have to. We have so many buildings downtown here. We have a big pharmacy down there. We have so many buildings in town. Just fix up one of those buildings, rent it from Phil Ritchie, whatever. We have a lot of decrepit buildings of our own that you could put them in. I don't know why we don't give it a shot. Nobody else around here is doing it. Simcoe, up in Simcoe, they're going to try it. I don't know why we don't. But anyway, that's my thing. I mean, I think when you got people sitting on city council for 30 years, maybe they don't like new ideas or they can't have enough vision to do it. But I think that's what we should do. So moving over to the hammer. And this is right out of Seinfeld. You know, the episode where Kramer was driving the bus. Well, a guy jumped on a bus while the driver was taking a leak. He got off the bus to take a leak, and a guy jumped in, fired it up, and away he went. 36-year-old wannabe Ralph Cramden stole a Hamilton bus with 10 passengers aboard. Went for a little joyride. But I think they should hire this guy. He drove around town getting directions from the passengers because he didn't know the bus route, but they did. They told him where to go, and he made all the stops. And he stopped to pick people up as well. So people were getting on and off. The real driver, right, went out, and his bus was gone. Now, this wasn't just your regular bus. This was a wrinkle. You know, the ones with the thing in the middle? The accordion bus, I call it the wrinkle. It looks like it's wrinkled. But yeah, it was a wrinkle. This guy's driving around. A little bit tougher than a regular bus. And he made all the stops. He told people that got on he was charging cash only. And he even prevented someone from getting on the bus because their bus pass was expired. They showed him the pass. He looked at it. He said, "Oh, it's expired. You can't get on the bus with that. You got to get a new one." The cops followed him around, but they didn't really want to stop him or do anything crazy in case he went wild and and started and crashed it or something. But they let him do his rounds for about 15 or 20 minutes. And they stopped him, ordered him off the bus, boarded the bus, and arrested him using force. Now, this guy never had a background driving a bus. So what's that say about bus drivers? This guy didn't even know what he was doing. He drove the bus, picked people up, dropped them off, made his stops. I mean, the local transit union president had to save face and claimed the guy had to know about buses. You can't just jump on a bus and drive it. Well, although you're gaslighting us with that one, I think that one has been blown to hell because someone just did jump on a bus and drove it around without any experience, ran the route, dropped off passengers, and picked up passengers without any apparent experience. So, yeah, they got to know how to drive a bus? No. Yeah, no. The guy that stole the bus, well, he was a homeless guy, no fixed address. Was charged with theft over 5,000, possession over 5,000, obstructing police, and operating a motor vehicle while prohibited. So he did have a license, but he lost it. He's in custody pending a bail hearing. And I heard he's going to be given the toughest route in the city when he gets out, the Barton Street corridor. Can you imagine? You're hired. You're hired. Come on. But we're going to give you Barton Street, the toughest area in Hamilton. There, we're going to give you Barton Street. And if there's any trouble, you take care of it. Thanks to Nicole O'Reilly with the Spectator for the article. I found that hilarious. You always, the unions always make everybody look like experts. And in the meantime, a homeless guy jumps on and does everything that a regular bus driver does, except he never got paid for it. He did it for free. How about that? Okay, Ray, let's see. We're moving on here. We're moving on. What happened to my other page here? Did I miss a page? What happened? Did I drop a page? What am I doing? Am I going crazy here? Oh, okay. We gotta go over here. Okay, well, that's a homeless guy. Yeah, okay. So the province is still staying quiet on who they're going to choose to be the new regional chair. Yeah, we're all expecting Bob Gale to be chosen that. Um, what they're doing right now is rotating counselors to be sitting in the chair seat until they pick a new one. So, Robert Flack, no, not Roberta Flack, of Killing Me Softly with his song fame, is being mum on the subject of who will be the next chair. But he did say the appointment will include the 2026 to 30 term. Elections coming up next year. And he is considering giving the chair strong mayor's power as well. Now, multiple sources have said that Black is going to be looking for an elected representative with PC ties, i.e., Bob Gill. He's the guy. Now, Port Colborne councillor Vance Bodaway. Is it Badaway or Bodaway? He kind of gave Gale a shot. He said Bradley's replacement has to be mindful of Bradley's legacy. A true gentleman that brought balance, transparency, and accountability back to the region. I don't know about that one. The guy was a liberal. I don't think so. But he certainly isn't prone to be placid. He makes his point and acts on it. This is what Bodaway is looking for. Well, Gale is the right word. Gale can be a force. See what I did there? Gale force? Yeah. Which is exactly what this region needs. Someone that will fill the seat, find deficiencies, and enforce them with authority. And having strong mayor powers, hey, we could see a whole new attitude at the region. Straighten out these liberals that have taken it over. These kooks, like Bateman and Ip. I vote Gale. How about you? Leave comments on the video who you think should be the regional chair or who you think will be the regional chair if you have a prediction to make. I think Bob Gale is the logical choice. I know Chris Regas says that, and a lot of people that I talk to say that. So if you don't have enough to worry about as we make our way to Christmas, contemplate this. Remember 3i Atlas, that spaceship disguised as a comet that sent the chilling 4-word message to Earth last week? Your time is ending. Remember I talked about that last week? A message in English, your time is ending, coming right from that spaceship. Well, now scientists are finding clusters of metallic anarchids scattered across the ice of the Antarctic, each no larger than a human hand, emitting a faint blue light in unison with signals traced to the trajectory of 3i Atlas. Their limbs move with eerie coordination, carving geometric lines in the frost as if mapping invisible constellations. Now, this is weird. Analysis revealed their composition is of materials unknown to earthly metallurgy and contain microcircuits that self-repair if damaged. When approached by researchers, the machines froze, aligning their sensors skyward, transmitting a silent beacon through the polar night. The data stream led to no known satellites, but the deep space coordinates trailing I Atlas. So if that doesn't scare the bejesus out of you, nothing will. What is this thing? What's going on? Now there's spiders running around, metal spiders um, running around the Antarctic. The ice is beginning to hum with these objects, a vibration that can be felt through the thick boots that protect researchers from the Antarctic cold. What are these metal and our kids arachnids, not anarchids, arachnids, scouts, messengers, who knows? Stay tuned to this one. It's pretty wild, and I'm following it every day. I watch something on it. Believe me, it's all over the internet. People aren't telling us exactly what they are. I don't know why. They don't want to scare us, I guess. We'll go goofy. Okay, some bad news, and it's about the soup kitchen on St. Lawrence Avenue. And sad to read about this one. The Niagara Falls Soup Kitchen is shutting down. No, it's not shutting down. No, it's not shutting down. I made a mistake. But it is sad news. The daily numbers at the soup kitchen on St. Lawrence have tripled over the last 3 years. Wow. They're running a Fill the Bus program at Zares on Morrison Street, November 29th. So if you're by Zares, stop in and give them some food. From 8 in the morning to 4 p.m., to fill a bus full of food to help serve 300 to 350 meals a day, 7 days a week to families, seniors, and anyone who needs help while they are facing challenging times. And that's a huge number. Over 2,000 people a week have to go to the soup kitchen to eat. How can this be happening? But it is. It's a sad comment on the times we live in, with the cost of living getting so high that hundreds need a soup kitchen for their meal. I mean, this is like a depression state when you think about it. Of course, donations are always welcome. So go down to the Zares and give your donation. They're running that Fill the Bus project on November 29th. So you've got lots of time to get down there between 8:30 and 3 p.m. and donate. I know we helped raise money through, we had them at the Rick Rose event to raise money and take food donations to help them out. Great cause, great people. Thanks to Ray Spiteri from the review for the article, and support the soup kitchen. Support the soup kitchen. It's hard to believe 300, 350 people go there every day to have a meal, or two maybe. I don't know, whatever they serve. It's crazy. It's nuts. Now, Canada, so screwed. Canada's so screwed. First off, it's being liquidated by Carney. He's selling out Canada after 10 years of Trudeau. Put us in bankruptcy and now in receivership with Carney hired to liquidate our assets and sell them to the highest bidder. So get this. Every time I don't like to talk about Canada or Carney and them that much because they're so stupid. It's just like, who cares? They're so irrelevant in the world. Canada, Canadians, they're irrelevant. And I'm sorry, but that's the truth. That's the truth. They just really, really are. We Trudeau has killed this country to the point where nobody cares. Maybe Canadians do with their elbows up and all that rotten nonsense, but the Canadian military is going to rely on an army of 300,000 public servants to boost its ranks. Can you imagine that? Public servants are going to have to be a reserve army. That's right, a federal and provincial public servants would be trained to shoot guns, drive trucks, fly drones, according to a Defense Department directive. Imagine that. Have you seen who works for the federal government and the Canadian Ontario government? You see the people who work there? They're not Canadians. They're mostly immigrants. They're going to fight for Canada? Yeah, right. Are you crazy? According, they're going to be running our military. Oh yeah, it's the ones that stand out front of Parliament and City Hall with Palestinian scarves on. Those people are going to be they're going to be in the military fighting for us if necessary. They will be the people we depend on to protect Canada. Pardon me while I laugh. Ugh. They're not going to fight against their home countries if that's who we're getting in a war with. So maybe 10% of public servants are going to wage a war because 90% will probably be trying to sabotage any war effort. I can see it now. It's going to be a nightmare. Could anything be more stupid than this idea? Well, Carney says, hold my beer. And Big Mouth Billy Bass up in Queen's Park, I believe there will be something more stupider, coming out of Ottawa soon. I don't get it. Who comes up with these ideas? Nobody's sane. Can't be anybody sane. Come on. Okay. And while we're at it, talking about Canada, Canada's lost it. Look at these guys out there. Get a job. They're yelling at me through the window. Oh. Canada's lost its measles free status. Believe it or not, probably the only country not considered third world to lose it. That's right. We have been declared measles free since 1998, and because of our open border policy, we've let in people with measles, and now it's getting to be an epidemic in Canada. We've been taken off the list of measles free countries. The Pan American Health Organization revoked our status. How do we get that status back? Well, we have to stamp out the current strain for at least 12 months and show that Canada has beefed up its surveillance systems to recognize the problem and quickly stop outbreaks. How can you do that when you're letting in thousands of unvetted refugees? That's impossible to do. I hate to tell you that. I hate to tell you that. So we're quickly sliding down the slope, a third world country, into the abyss. Watch for the U.S. to quickly move to screen Canadians entering the U.S. for measles. You just know it's going to happen, right? You know that. Once this has been told, we're not measles free anymore, they're going to be stopping us at the border, put a travel warning on Canadians because of this measles free status being taken away from us. How could it happen? That's what happens when you let anybody into the country, millions upon millions, and they're going to let another 500,000 in this year. It never ends with these liberals. I told you got to stop the border. You got to plug it. You got to stop immigration. Only bring in people that you need. That's it. We're talking tens of thousands if we're going to bring anybody in, not hundreds and of thousands. We got to stop it. Canada needs a breather. We got to take these people that have already come in, assimilate them, and get them working, not paying them to be here. Get rid of the ones that are here illegally. Stop new ones from coming in. And then we got to deal with the measles. Never ends. Never ends. Okay, over to the U.S. for a minute, but we're going to talk about this 43 days of the government shutdown and what happened right after I talk about my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. And since 1948, Hamel Machine has been helping all aspects of industry in Niagara Falls. Industry wants a good machine shop they can rely on to fix their machines when they break down. Time is money. Hamel's been doing that since 1948. And not only do they make the machines work, they fix them, they make them work better because time is money. And when you get right down to it, the more production they can get, the better it is. When that machine's down, it's not making money. So Hamel goes in, and not only do they fix the machine, they innovate. They make it better so that the machine produces more. They've done it for the wine industry, innovated their wine racks. They've done it for the food industry, richest products in Sink and Fort Erie. They've done it for the agricultural product industry, hydroponics, harvesting. They created machines to do it faster, and they ship those machines all over the world. They have the tech people, they have the IT, they have everybody there, the skill set within their employees to do this kind of thing. And they've been doing it since 1948. But they haven't forgot about the little guys. Us. We need something fixed, fabricated, repaired. Hamel Machine Shop is the place to go. They're going to take care of you. They've been doing it for a long time. They know what they're doing, big or small, any size industry. They're great corporate citizens, and they make industry more efficient. How can you beat that? Hamel Machine Company. Go to hamelmachine.ca to see the beautiful work they do, and you'll have your mind blown. You see the project they've worked on. It's amazing. Right over here, Bridge Street at Hauser's welding shop. Hamel, they have one on their main office on Kent Street. Support our sponsors. They support the show. So the 43-day nightmare of government shutdown, the longest in U.S. history, is over. 15 times the Republicans voted to open the government. 15 times the Democrats voted against opening. That's finally over. Trump signed the executive order to open the government Wednesday night. He got his way. 8 Democrats defected. And AOC, that communist rat, the de facto leader of the radical left socialist movement in the U.S., so dumb, she thinks Taco Bell is the Mexican phone company. Well, she's hammering Chuck Schumer now. See, they're starting to eat their own, the Democrats, for not being able to keep the Democrats together, harming the U.S. people. It's a bloodbath in the Democratic Party right now. 8 of them came over to pass the motion with a supermajority to stop the filibuster and open government. This is really good news, although it's only temporary, as the spending bill comes back at the end of January once again. And once again, these dopey Democrats could shut it down. So the money is flowing to all public employees, and the $42 million of SNAP payments are going to those that need it most. This is all on the Democrats. 15 times they voted against opening. All the airline cancellation, all the missed paychecks, and the paying costs to those that need the money the most, all through partisan politics empowered by the Democrats to try and get their insane spending programs through. And I talked about them during the week. They failed. Trump got everything he wanted and got rid of everything that hurt taxpayers of America. Way to go. Way to go. That is perfect. That's what we want to see. Government is open again. And the American people are happy because, especially when the airlines started they cancel over 1,000 flights a day, and they're toughing it out. And with Thanksgiving coming up, the most traveled day of the year, to get people home with their families for Thanksgiving, that's coming up, and everything's got to get up and running by then so they can move people around the nation. Okay, and we talked about left-wing loonies, and the biggest one of all is James Carville. Remember this goofball with Clinton? The Louisiana loony? Well, he's starting up again with what he calls the Democratic 2028 Master Plan to win back not only the White House, but the House and Senate. And he said once they get that, they can pack the Senate, or sorry, pack the Supreme Court, as well as declare the District of Columbia a state, along with Puerto Rico, because they're Democratic. They go blue all the time, which means more Democratic votes for them. That's what he wants to do. Well, Wacky Jim, what you forgot is that they don't have a candidate to run, as AOC and Crockett are planning to take over the party. So the Democrats that Carville knew, they don't even have somebody to run for them. These two kooks, along with Bernie Sanders and that, want to make it the Democratic Socialist Party, and they're going to run a ticket. And they want to get rid of the old people like Schumer and that, and start with this new Democratic Socialist Party. Man, Dandy, who got elected mayor of New York City, is the start of it. And then you have Ilan Oman in Minnesota. You got Rashid Tlaib, and I think she's in Ohio, maybe. But you got a bunch of these guys who are running it now, and they're all Palestinians or Muslim terrorists. They should really be deported. They will be. Don't worry, it's coming. But yeah, they're gonna get their asses kicked if they run anyway. So James Carville, this guy's loonier than ever. He's a whack job, and we saw what happened to their communist buddy Kamala, and it's gonna happen to them. I mean, this guy should really be in a home. You shouldn't even be talking about the Democratic Party. He makes them look worse than they already do. And in another wacky left wing Democrat moment, the Democrats are claiming Joe Biden is fit to serve and encouraging him to run in 2028. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. I mean, that can't be true, can it? I don't know. I read it. Former president was spotted dining at Carbonara Italian restaurant in Arlington, Virginia, one of the top 25 restaurants in the country. And suddenly Democrats are calling it proof of his vitality and fitness. I can't make this crap up. These loonies do exist, and they're out there on the streets. Nut jobs. Now, as the left-wing loonies tout Biden's great health, PA Senator John Fetterman, the only Democrat that stood up to pass the spending bill, while the rest of the Democrats played politics with people's lives, finally, they got 7 more to go with them. He's been admitted to the hospital after suffering a fall near his home. A ventricular fibrillation flared up, causing him to fall to the ground and hitting his face on the ground. Fetterman was under extreme pressure from his fellow Democrats. They were all over him for going against his own party, and he even received death threats about it. These left wings they're lunatics. They're mental. Some even saying that they couldn't wait for his next stroke. He had a stroke already. I mean, these people are sick. They're sick, this party. And they're, like I said, they're eating their own now. They're eating their own. Could the stress have caused this? Absolutely. He's not a real healthy guy, and the stress of the Democratic cohorts continually demeaning him and the left-wing radicals threatening him, they could have definitely led to his injuries. I would say he's lucky Clinton's side didn't get him. We've seen a lot of people who went against the Clintons and the Democrats die of suicide. Clinton's side. I don't think the Democrats are really a political party at this point. I think they're done. I mean, they're not the old style Democrats like the Kennedys were in that. These are new socialists, and they're nuts. They're insane. And you see people like Tulsi Gabbard and Robert F. Kennedy get away from the party because at the end of the day, that is not the party that they signed up with years ago. And I'm going to end on that note. Don't forget about Venezuela. Gerald R. Ford has moved into a position just off the coast of Venezuela. Now they've got all their troops there, the U.S., to overthrow President Maduro, who is an illegal president and leader of the cartels. There's a $50 million bounty on his head. And right now, the U.S. is ready to go with the Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier there. 9 air squadrons, 2 Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers are with the Gerald R. Ford, the integrated air and missile defense ship USS Winston S. Churchill, and more than 4,000 sailors in total. And there's said to be roughly 15,000 U.S. personnel in the theater. The U.S. has also deployed 10 F-35 jets to Puerto Rico, 3 MQ-9 Reaper drones, 5,000 troops at the ready in Puerto Rico. U.S. B-1B bombers and B-52 bombers have also been flying the coast of Venezuela. Really, Maduro doesn't stand a chance. He's in for big trouble. He's signing his death warrant. He should just exit stage right and go into exile with a country that doesn't have extradition to the U.S., because if he does, he's going. Now, they say they're launching a massive mobilization of its 123,000 armed forces, and Maduro says they have 8 million reservists, as well as military personnel, weapons, and equipment in response to the buildup of U.S. warships. And troops in the Caribbean, his land, air, and naval forces will carry out exercises through the week in response to what Vladimir Padrino Lopez, defense minister for Venezuela, calls an imperialist threat to his country. Now, the exercises also include the Bolivian militia, a reserve force of civilians created by the late President Hugo Chavez. Now, Colombia's leftist leader, President Gustavo Petro, has suspended all intelligence sharing with the U.S. regarding suspected drug traffickers. They were telling the U.S. where the drug traffickers were. They've suspended that now, claiming the U.S. is going after the poor cocoa farmers rather than the major drug traffickers and the major money launderers in Colombia. And I don't think the U.S. needs Colombian intelligence. They have enough satellites not to take care of that. But whatever. So basically, it could go down this weekend. Keep your eyes open. See what's going to happen. You might see him launch an invasion in that or do something here. We'll see what happens now. So right now, the U.S. has 8 warships, a submarine, fighter jets, Marines deployed to the region, with the Gerald R. Ford just arriving and sitting there waiting. So next week, Monday, City Council Agenda Review Day. Tuesday will be the second 100 pages of the capital budget. Wednesday's absolutely. Thursday will be council notes after the meeting on Tuesday at 4 o'clock. And Friday will be the third 100 pages of the capital budget, if I can get to it all. There's a lot of stuff to go through. I don't know how these councilors do it. Big week next week. Stay tuned as we straight talk our way through the week. And then on the 25th, 1 week later, we have the actual capital budget meeting. It's a race to the end of November. I will be there. Promises made, promises kept. See you at noon on Monday with the City Council Agenda Review. So much going on in the world, so little time. Have a great weekend, everybody. I know it's going to rain, but do the best you can with the rain, and hopefully it lets up and stops for the Santa Claus Parade tomorrow at 4 o'clock. It starts with a parade down Queen Street. Come on down, have a good time. Support our sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. Please support our sponsors. God bless you all. Have a great, safe weekend. Enjoy. And I can't wait for next week. It's going to be a crazy week on Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from the studios of 4680Q. My name is Paul K. Lemire. Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Subscribe, like, comment. Do us a flavor. We'll see you on Monday at noon. Promises made, promises kept. I'll be here at noon on Monday, maybe with Dave Wheeler. We'll see what he has to say. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.